I am hunter. I'm on safari in South Africa at Maroi Conservancy. Gorgeous place. We're seeing game and we haven't even started the hunt. And I'm dressed like a tourist because I've got nothing. Nothing. I've got no guns, no bag with all my clothes. That means no clean underwear. And I am begging clothes like a homeless guy in New York City. But we're off on the hunt, luggage or no luggage. I fortunately have enough good friends here. They're lending me everything from a few odds and ends in clothing to my Smith & Wesson handgun.
This 460, this is my own personal gun. I've hunted a lot with it, and this thing is a tack driver. I said, one of the reasons why I like it so much is I have so much confidence in it because all the shooting I've done with it, I mean, you know, at 1,500 yards, I've held groups like that off the bench, so
If it doesn't shoot, I can just blame you.
Well, yeah, you know, this is a different optic gun. I had a scope on here before, but once you know where it's hitting, and if you get it in there, I got to tell you, you got to trust the gun.
That's what hunting's all about. You get confidence in something, and
that's it.
And that just boosts you right into a good hunt. So.
Yeah, it does.
Center, let's move.
Cool.
Right, we spotted a waterbuck. We headed out around this side. The wind is good. Let's see if we can go and see which way it went. There's a hill up there. Maybe get up on the high spot, scan the area, see if we can spot him, and then let's see what happens. Let's move out. These guys are amazing trackers, and we're trying to see if this waterbuck crossed the road. We're going to a high spot, just like you would anywhere out west, and see if we can spot it. So this country is going to be all about tracking, and these guys are great trackers. And glassing. Now I'm going to be at a bit of a disadvantage because some Delta carrier is actually holding on to my binocular right now. I don't have any optics. By tonight, hopefully I'm going to be back in the game with these guys and being able to glass, because I'm not going to brag, but I'm pretty good at glassing, having grown up in the open country. We're up on this hill here. We saw the waterbuck around there. The trackers said they think they moved coming around here, but we suspect now that he crossed the river and went over on that side, on the bank on that side. So we'll go down and check if his tracks is crossing the river. Right, I think he gave us the slip. We must have lost his track on that rocky area over there. So let's call in the car, move to another area. We know where he is. The waterbuck tend to come and feed on this reeds over here, early morning and late afternoon. Okay.
North American Hunter is brought to you by Hornady, accurate, deadly, dependable. Ruger, rugged, reliable firearms. M&P, advanced by design. Can-Am off-road vehicles. Can-Am, the ride says it all. And by Matthews, catch us if you can.
Sunrise in Africa, it's as cool as it gets. In fact, it's a really cool morning. It's almost like a mountain morning in the Rocky Mountains in the fall. So now we're on a mission of run and gun, trying to find a good candidate for the Smith & Wesson. It's everyone's dream to hunt Africa. If you're a hunter, at some point, now admit it, you have wanted to go to the dark continent and pursue plains game, maybe even challenge yourself with a Cape buffalo or something bigger, yeah, like elephant. Well, I've been on that dream hunt
twice in my life already. This time, I was headed to South Africa, a country I've never been to. I've always hunted to the north a little further, more desert country. This was a little bit more like, well, the thick country of the southern United States, maybe even South Texas. I was so surprised when we landed in South Africa and traveled to our hunting area. It wasn't quite like I expected. I was expecting a little bit more openness, places where you could do some stalks, spot animals from afar, move on them. Was I surprised. And by the end of the hunt, I was just about in shock. This country, it did have game, but the game here had many, many, many more hiding places. And then I got this other little thing going on. We're hunting with handguns, and that's not quite like hunting with a long gun where you can throw it up and get solid right away. A handgun, you definitely need a stable rest. Well, you mix that all together here in South Africa, and it was one of the most challenging hunts I've ever been on to date.
I think he went off already, so we might have just missed him with a little bit. We'll go and check where we saw him,
Okay.
in which direction he went out. And then from there we'll decide if we're gonna follow him or back our way.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, good.
And for me, it was really the challenge. It's something that I really want to do. Done a lot of hunting all my life, and I do have a thing for handgun hunting. It's just extremely challenging. I mean, it's challenging like archery, but the difference comes in is it gives you the ability to have that same challenge that you have in archery, but take it out a little bit further distance. So, you know, with these handguns, what we've seen for enhancements in ammo in the last 5 years, and even what we're doing with the handguns, you know, you can be very comfortable taking a shot out at 100 yards, and if you practice, you can take a shot out at 200 yards. And me and Mark's known each other for quite a few years, and this is really the first time that me and Mark got a chance to hunt together. These animals are tough to get up close to. Boy, I tell you what, the wind's got to be just right. And if that wind swirls, you're done. You step on a leaf the wrong way, you're done. So it takes some time to track them. So one of the things that we decided to do is there's a gigantic rock outcropping. And I don't know if it was Mark or PH, Lawrence, heard some rustlings down below, and just out of the corner of the eye, I just caught a glimpse of some bush pigs.
Mark, range it for me. 100 yards. Wait for him. Wait for him.
And that's kind of interesting because bush pigs are very nocturnal. I mean, they're very elusive, they're very nocturnal. You never see them out there in the daytime. Spun around on that rock ledge, and I put my backpack down there to give me something to lean up against with my gun. And these things came through. And it was very tough. You've seen just small glints of them as they come through. They came through a rock formation, and they're in between some pretty thick brush. As soon as he came in there, he just hesitated for a second, and I squeezed that trigger, and that 500 rang out. Probably one of the proudest moments I had, but I have to be honest, I mean, I shoot a lot out of handguns, I love the handgun hunt, but every once in a while you have to rely on luck to make you look good. In this case, I think luck was smiling on me that day. Oh, look at him over there.
Nice pig.
Oh, boy, that's a nice pig too, boy, and they were coming, they were hauling through there.
I could only barely see him.
Look at that. Nice black male, eh?
Oh,
Look at the cutters on him.
Oh, look at that.
That was awesome, huh?
that was. Quick, you just never know how that stuff unfolds. Just 1 minute you're sweating to the oldies, and the next minute you're slamming bacon.
That's right.
was my first trip to Africa, and I really didn't know what to expect. It was spectacular coming in, seeing all the terrain and the different villages and things like that, and then getting to this Maroi Conservancy is just, it's incredible. And then to finally get out into the bush and see these animals and see what they really look like. You know, you see pictures and things, but it's totally different until you're finally there and you see those things, and then you start doing that stalk. It's just crazy. I looked at my wish list and all the animals in Africa, and the one that really stood out that I wanted to get first was the kudu.
He says when we drove past there, he saw the kudu. He showed me, I didn't see it, but he says it's better down.
Okay.
So we'll just stalk back up and see if we can get a shot at it. And,
It's just off the trail?
Yeah, it's just off the trail to the left, better down under the tree there in the shade.
Okay. Right when we got there, he saw us and stood up. So the sticks were laid out right away. I got that pistol up there, and thankfully, I guess, that EOTech, because that ring in the circle got onto it so fast that I didn't have time to think or screw anything up. It was just that easy.
Should I shoot?
Holy moly, that was crazy. You know, walking up to that animal, first of all, it's really even difficult to really grasp you're in Africa. I mean, it just, I don't know, it's just one of those things that it's hard to believe you're here, but as you walk up to your first African animal, it was almost overwhelming. So it was really, really cool to kind of see the capes and all the intricacies of the animal and the size of it, and then all the enjoyment that the trackers, holy moly, those guys tackled me. They were probably more excited than me. So all of that combined just made it a great, great experience. Oh God, that was fun.
Hunting here in South Africa, well, it's a big industry, and farming is part of it. This property, the Maroi Conservancy where we're hunting on, is a huge citrus farm, tomato farm, peppers. They do a lot of farming, but they have a lot of wild lands. Now, why am I talking to you about all this? Well, as hunters, you're creating an economic impact here. Sure, you're paying for your hunt, you're buying airline tickets, but you're also employing a lot of the local folks here. The local communities, they all work together, not only in the hunting business, but on the farming business. And you as a hunter, you know what else you do? You give these people something back in the form of food. Now, the people that work on the Maroi Conservancy, they get a little bit of food from the fields each and every day. But when hunters come here, it's just not practical to fly an eland, a gemsbok, and all these creatures back to your freezer. So where do they go? The local community. The Maroi Conservancy makes sure that each and every family gets a portion of meat each day, and another large volume of meat goes to the local shops that's sold at a dirt cheap rate. And they have to sell it so, you know, the folks just don't take too much of it, but just come in, spend enough money to, again, nourish their family. So when you go out of state, out of country, or anywhere hunting, just remember, you're having an impact, an economic impact, and you might be helping a lot of these folks that are in these communities have a good meal. Despite being this one of my most difficult hunts ever, teamed up with a handgun, thick brush, and some pretty crazy spooky animals, I'm still gonna come back to Africa. I'd love to bring my son back here, maybe even my entire family, and trek through the brush once again on some of the most unique critters you'll find on the planet.
North American Hunter is brought to you by Supercharged Scent Killer by Wildlife Research Center. 99% peak antifreeze. Radiator protection that's guaranteed. Peak. Run true. Burris Optics, home of the Eliminator 3 laser scope. Thompson Center, America's master gun maker. And by the 4-in-1 Woodsman from Zippo Outdoor.